Hello everybody and welcome to Dynamic GT League's Dgtcc for Event 2 from Goodwood, although after today it might be called Badwood. It's the first time we've raced here in the DGT League, and today we're going to be having a 10-minute sprint race. The grid is set from the last feature race, and that sprint race will set the grid for the feature race, which will also be at Goodwood on this video. Okay, so Goodwood, here we come, and also the fuzz is in effect at the final chicane here. If you don't know about that, we'll try and explain it a little bit in the video, or you could just watch our video regarding the fuzz. Okay, current standings: David Hart leads the way on 35 points, 4 ahead of Mitch in second place. Twilight's in third on 27. SGP and Steve F1 are joint fourth on 25 points, and we've got Jason on 19. Demon R, formerly Gary, are tied 7th place on 16 points each, and then we've got SRI on 15, Rich Blues 14, Jimmy on 12, Bunsel also on 12, Conrad on 10, Hay on 4, and then Fluffy, Artpal and Tyler yet to score. Let's not forget that with the 10-minute sprint race there is points to be earned. 16th for first, going down by a point all the way to 16th. So yeah, very important sprint race, although it is mainly there to set the grid for the feature race. So let's have a look at what the grid will be for the sprint race here at Goodwood. And on pole position we've got Jason. He's in the reverse grid pole position, so he finished 8th in the last feature race, so he'll start pole. Alongside him on row 1 is Conrad, and then on row 2 we've got Twilight lining up alongside SGP. Row 3 is Steve F1 alongside SRI, and then on row 4 we've got Mitch and Dave the Harp. Row 5 we'll see formerly Gary start next to his good mate Rich Blues, and on row 6 it's Bunsel lining up alongside Demon R. Hay will start in 13th place on row 7 with Jimmy next to him, and then Art Powell will start in 15th, and unfortunately Fluffy unable to race today. Okay, time to head over to the commentators. And joining me on commentary here from Goodwood, it's Raymond. How are you, Ray?
I'm not too bad. How's yourself?
I'm alright, looking forward to this boring race.
It's boring race, okay.
So here we go then. I doubt very much it's going to be a boring race, but what it is a 10-minute sprint race with Jason on pole position, and the result of this is going to set the grid for the feature race as the lights are about to go out. And away they go, and it looks like a decent start from Jason. Conrad in second place, and the Aston Martin closing in quickly, and then we've got Twilight being hunted by Steve F1. He's actually being passed by Steve F1.
Yep, Steve F1 trying to get in that inside line, because you don't want to be on the outside line here, because you can drift out wide and end up on that grass.
Absolutely, you can, Ray. You're absolutely right there. Connor also doing the same thing. He wanted the inside line, he's taken it. This circuit looks very, very easy, but the drivers are actually approaching one of the most difficult parts of it. It's a bit of a very fast kink, and you'll see a few cars sideways, like Mitch was there, but then we're into a slow left-hander, and you'll see cars sideways and off the track here as well. As we head into a couple of dead easy right-handers in comparison. But I think one of the key things about this place, Ray, is that the chances are everybody's going to make an error at some point.
Yeah, well, most people, not everybody. As we see, Conrad's in first place now, so he's took the lead of the race.
Yep.
As we've got Twilight on the back of SGP, I can hear tyres squealing behind.
It's not good at clear tyre squealing as the drivers have made their way through the chicane, the nasty little chicane here, which for any of our viewers, oh, who's that that's wide? It's Bunsel. Off he goes, clips the barrier, manages to survive it though. There's Jimmy trying to make a move on Steve F1. Steve F1 trying to make a move on Demon R, and that's not going to quite work for him. Got to be careful here, Jimmy, as he's drifted out wide, got a little tank slapper on, but he's managed to survive. We may see more of that as it goes on. Yeah, I want to quickly mention the final corner, the fuzz zone is, or the fuzz, because you don't have to call it the fuzz zone, because then it'd be the fuck up zone. It's like having a pin number. Oh, Dave! Where's he going to go? Where's he going to end up? Oh, right in front of Steve F1. Takes him out. Bunsel's off as well. Yeah, Dave was unlucky there. As usual. we mentioned a little while ago, Ray, about a minute ago, yeah, you're going to see cars go wide, and when they do, they're going to go a long way.
Yeah, the grass is just going to take you off, and then that's it. You're like on a skid pad.
Absolutely.
As we see Twilight coming back at SGP, and they've caught up with Jason, so this is a three-way battle for second place.
Yes, it is, as they make their way through the chicane. Twilight's got a decent exit there. He must have been bleaching it. Oh dear. But STP's managed to stay ahead. Yeah, so the fuzz is in effect for the final chicane. Basically, I've been calling the last sort of 4 corners that section as Jimmy's big sideways. Mitch is off. Mitch has run wide. That could cost him big time because you've run wide on the exit of 1 and he reappears there. It's so easy to end up hung out there for a long, long time. Zartpow slips through as well. SRI's got a nice gap ahead of Jimmy at the moment. Yeah, so I've been calling the final few corners the no-no zone, or Jimmy sideways, because when drivers get it wrong in there, all you'll hear is no, 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 no. So yeah, I suppose we've got to mention as well, though, again, that the well, he's gone. Oh dear.
Jimmy just holding it there with a nice drift. Let's let Steve F1 come up behind him. Is he going to get him here on the left-hander?
They might do. Steve F1's kind of got the inside line heading into the no-no zone, which starts sort of here as we skip to look away at Twilight hunting. Oh no, he's clipped the barrier. Careful, it's the wall here.
Oh, he just got back on in time.
Yeah,
so Steve F1 couldn't get ahead and Jimmy there before the first one. Gary's going wide, that's giving Mitch a place, and Demon R's there as well. Oh, was that Jimmy giving him a... No, it was Hay giving Gary a push.
Yeah, it was helping Gary to try and hold on to the place. It's not worked for Hay though, really, and Gary's gone a little bit wide. Dave Hart's trying to recover as well. Just as a reminder that in this race, the grid was formed at the last feature race, and then the top... Oh, this is for second place, SGP, trying to get past Jason through the sort of slower left-hand kink into the double right-handers. Well, you know what, I reckon we should call these the mothers, or the backhanders, because if you don't behave, you're going to get whacked off. Hang on a minute, that sounds right.
Hopefully not by your mother. Don't see something for.
I don't know.
He's
just been whacked off, that's what it is. Okay, so what I mentioned as well quickly, the fuzz zone starts at the end of that big stand we can see there, and basically what it means is when the drivers get to a certain point, there's a gentleman's agreement in place that the car ahead has the position. It's to keep things safe in the chicane of disasters, because it is very evil in that chicane. And there's something that we've kind of taken from the V8 Aussie V8 supercars that they have tried doing in some of their most dangerous chicanes, and it is in effect here. So we shouldn't be seeing any overtakes happening into the final chicane, because it's all about keeping everybody on track. Mitch trying to attack Steve F1 here, but Mitch is on the outside, Ray.
Yeah, but he's on the outside. He wants to hug Steve F1 as tight as possible so he doesn't touch that grass.
He might get poked if... Oh, he has! He's just been poked a little bit. He hugged Steve F1 a little too fondly there. Oh, gets a little bit sideways as well. Demon R now closing in. Or is he? Because he just tipped a wheel on the grass. He's got away with that one. But yeah, we'll see. I won't be surprised if we see plenty of people spinning throughout the course of these two races here, because for those that have had practice, have all been spinning, and for those that have not had practice, they're going to spin like those that have had practice. As just behind Mitch here is getting a little bit frantic as Conrad leading the way. He's got a monstrous gap, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's just sailing, isn't he? He's just an auto driver now.
Yeah, well, maybe he's, I don't know, maybe he just likes this place. Or he's just being super cautious and making sure he makes no mistakes, and that comes as being fast as well, because if you're making mistakes you're going to go slower. Steve F1 coming under a bit of pressure here. Got to mention again, just in case anyone forgets, that this race is... Oh, David Harp, little tag on the side of Hay there maybe, managed to survive it as Homer is sitting on his bonnet. Jason's got his rear wing up as he's on the brakes. He's run a little bit wide though.
Yep, that's just giving SGP the chance. They might want to do a switchback here on the double back handles. Is he going to get it? No, he's gone round outside. He's been brave.
He's trying around the outside, but unfortunately for him, the Maserati hasn't got the straight line speed because of the weight, so Jason's going to be able to hold on as they work their way into the no-no zone, as Twilight closing in as well. They sort of get through the double right-handers. The fuzz is starting now, so SGP can't make the move, but he can try and get as close as possible, like Twilight is, to get a decent run on the exit. But this is fascinating stuff, though, Ray, because this shows the difference of the cars. SGP is quick enough to be there pressuring Jason, but Jason's just quick enough, just quick enough to hold SGP behind him on the straights.
Oh, nice move round outside there, yeah, but Jason could come back at him this long straight here.
Twilight, I was going to say Twilight's gone, he binned it.
Gone.
Oh, I wonder if he got a bit wide.
Oh, I don't know, I was too busy watching SGP taking the overtake.
Oh, I'll tell you what though, he's lost a lot of places here. He's gone from 4th down to 11th. Absolutely disastrous for Twilight, that is, especially with this race setting the grid for the next race, because there's only a minute and a half left in this race, which means, what, 1, maybe 2 more laps. So Twilight's going to have to try and recover if he can. Connor is absolutely flying still, though. I tell you what, his lap times are fantastic. Low 14s. Iron Man is doing it today. So let's see. He crosses the line. He may get 1 more lap in. I think for these guys, they're starting their last lap now. So SGP is up to 2nd, Jason 3rd, SRI's closed in to get 4th, Steve F1 is on his own in 5th at the moment. I wonder who he's been bashing off around him. Jimmy's got Mitch behind him. It's Mitch, clunks the barrier. Yeah, I think Hay did as well, as Art Pal may have just tagged the back of him. Demon R trying to get a decent exit. Art Pal trying to go for the slipstream, but there's a car there. Oh, he's going wide! He's wide! Oh no, he's took the Twilight line.
Yep, he's going out there. He's keeping it straight though, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, he may be out there for a while, but he's still facing the right direction as Arm Power trying to put a bit of pressure on the back of Demon R. Having a look on the inside into the right hand kink, is he? No, he's backed out of it. Good idea that, because the last thing you want to do is go into that corner too quick. Oh, it's a bit Demon R sideways up beside Mitch. Mitch trying to pass Jimmy, I think it was. But Connor's coming through to win the race, Ray.
Yeah, what a great result compared to last week when he was spinning around. He's up there blasting everybody.
Yeah, he's blasting at Goodwood, so takes the victory and the 16 points. SGP, he's in 2nd place, so he'll take the 15 points. Jason, is he safe from SRI in that 3rd position? I think he is. Only just though. SRI right there. Steve F1's all on his own in 5th place like the previous lap. Let's see, Jimmy had Mitch right up his trumpet and he survived. Yeah, Jimmy survived. Mitch is going to be 7th, Demon R 8th, Hayes 9th, Dave the Hart 10th. Oh, a bit of a disaster for Dave there. Art Pal 11th, Twilight 12th, Bunsel 13th, Formula Gary 14th, and unfortunately I think Rich Blues DNF'd on that one. So Bunsel and Gary will be the last ones across the line. It was unfortunate for Twilight there that he had that spin so many times. There was not a lot he could do then to recover it. So this is the grid then, or the result of this will be the grid for the feature race. What I've got to say though is Conrad was absolutely on fire there. If he has another race like that, he's on for one hell of a big points haul.
Yeah, yep, he is going to be.
That he is. I just want to have a quick look then. So yeah, the the sprint race result then. Conrad finishes in 1st place, SGP 2nd, Jason 3rd, SRI 4th, Steve F1 5th, Jimmy 6th, Mitch 7th, Demon R 8th, Hay 9th, Dave the Harp 10th, Art Powell 12th. No, I've got that wrong. Where did I go wrong there? Right, Steve F1's 5th, Jimmy 6th, Mitch 7th, Demon R 8th, Hay 9th, Dave the Harp 10th, Art Pal 11th, Twilight 12th, Bunsel 13th, Formula Gary 14th, Rich Blues did DNF, so he'll start 15th for the feature race, and there isn't going to be anybody new coming in to take that 16th place for the feature race, so that will be the grid. Any penalties that may be applied for the sprint race, I will sort out at the end of the feature race. Anything stand out there, Ray, for you with that little madness 10-minute sprint?
Just how quick it went past, and Conrad he wasn't waiting on anybody.
No, definitely was not. Okay, right, I think me and Ray are going to take half a second to grab a drink, and then we will get on to the feature race. So here we go then for the feature race here at Goodwood. Conrad on pole position, SGP next to him in second place. This one is ever so important. There's points to be won and there's positions to be had in the next race as the lights go out and away they go, and it looks like a brilliant start from Jason. He's already attacking SGP and SRI is closing in on him as well.
Yeah, great start, Conrad as well.
Oh, Toblerone sideways. Oh, he's dipped a wheel. Oh, don't get spread all along the barrier. Oh, he has done. That's the twilight line.
He's done well, he's kept it going. He's just fell down about 8 places or so.
Yep, that he has. Seaman are here just ahead of Dave. The Harpers then making their way into the right-hand kink. Some of these corners still needing names. Oh, he's off into the barrier. That's a disastrous start for
Dave the Harp.
Yes, so is Dave the Harp. Oh, and he's just been bumped by Art Pal to get him back up to speed a bit. This is a little bit tricky as they're heading into the Mothers. Oh, I'm trying to say all pretty.
Myself out, but Jason still attacked SGP there, sorry.
So I was just about to say, they're all pretty well behaved through there. Okay, so Jason has managed to get ahead of SGP, but so is Steve F1 and so is Mitch. I just want to quickly mention as well that while these guys are battling, headed into the no-no zone, now into the fuzz zone, Jason's just ahead, so they'll hold on to their positions for the moment. Also, Mitch has got a brilliant exit there. He's been getting Twilight to do a bit of bleaching on him, but he's not got the run to attack Steve F1.
No, that's a totally different. It looked as if he had the run, and then it just kind of died. I don't know.
Get in! Get in! Sorry, I'm watching the England game while we're recording this. Mitch, you can do your overtake. I really don't care because England have scored. Okay, so
Steve F1 side by side with Mitch, and then SGP nearly tried to put his nose in there.
Mitch was brave round the outside then. So was Harry Kane. Good goal. Conrad's buggered off again. Clearly he wants to go and watch the England game. Jason, he had them in the previous race. Mitch with a very risky move around the outside there, Ray, on Steve F1. But an interesting race nevertheless. I really don't know what to say. I just, carry on.
Yeah, and did you know, at the start of the race, it's not lights, it's a Union flag there.
Oh, I did not realise that. Oh, Mitch! Oh, is he going to crash? He might now. But yeah, absolutely sideways all the way through there. I was going to mention as well that with the fuzz, yes, there are rules to it, but there are
a different colour of livery for Bunso, was it not green?
You know, you're right, it was green in the first race. Is that the livery that you've used in event 1? He was asked to change. Would you change for the sprint race here? I don't know whether. I think something may have got a bit wrong there. Okay, Twilight on the attack though. Checking out turd is the word on the back of Bunsor's car. Twilight making a move. Very nice through what is actually technically turn 2. As Art Pal is opened up a little bit of a gap to Twilight. SGP trying to put some pressure on Mitch. Yeah, so with the fuzz, you're not allowed to overtake in there. However, if somebody is unnaturally slow through there, and not just, I'm faster than you, so I'm going for it, but if they've, for example, had a crash and they're recovering or something like that, then you can pass them, but it is at your own risk. So that stuff we may see as Mitch was very sideways through the chicane on the previous lap. Not so much on this time. How boring. This ain't boring.
Exactly. The Harp sideways with Demon Armies inside.
Yeah.
as we come out the chicane. Twilight got a run on Artpal here. Nice one.
That was a
Artpal's trying to hold on, yeah.
Yeah.
Just wanted to tuck in behind and stick into that inside line.
Yeah, I mean, Artpal's not been able to get any practice in before the day of the race here, so he may not be aware. I mean, this is the thing, for those that weren't able to get any practice, they may not be aware that you really don't want to be on the outside of turn 1, 2 or 3, because chances are, if you're a touch too quick, you're going to dip a wheel on the grass and then it's going to be all over. SGP has managed to get ahead of Mitch. I don't know if we saw that on camera. I'm kind of looking at 4 different screens, so yeah, but Mitch right behind SGP now. Interesting that the Maseratis are kind of 2nd, 3rd and 4th here. No, sorry, 3rd, 4th and 5th here, as Mitch trying to make the attack. But I actually think it's not necessarily down to the car, it's down to the fuzz! You know what? Oh, SGP's in the barrier! Oh, and that Steve F1 has tagged the back of it just in parked up! You know, oh, be careful reversing! Oh, yeah. What? Very interesting. I wonder what the rules are for when that happens.
I don't think we will set any, because we don't think it would happen.
That is true. You know, looking at that, I mean, SGP was wide. Mitch, I think, was doing the right thing. He backed off a bit to let SGP be safe. But then SGP at the wall, and he's off again at 1. And that'll happen a lot as well. Yes, I think then, once it hit the wall, perhaps Mitch wasn't sure what to do, and it's possible that Steve F1 tagged Mitch and helped him into that area. Just a bit of confusion. But I think once SGP had hit the wall, oh, hey, big spin. Has he saved it? Oh, not quite. He's going to be throwing up in the cockpit of that car, I reckon.
Yeah. He's got the famous golden hot pants on.
Oh yeah. Okay, Conrad once again leading the race. He's 5 laps in, with 6 minutes in. Conrad looking comfortable. I mean, he struggled a bit at the first event, didn't he, at the Dgtcc side, but he's absolutely making up for it here. Jason's having an absolute flyer as well. Steve F1 has benefited. Oh, his SRI's all over the dirt. Yeah, Steve F1 benefited from Mitch and SGP, so they're now right behind Dave the Harp. Mitch actually making the move on Dave the Harp down the main straight.
Yeah, has he got the speed for it? Is he going to get to the inside line before the turn 1? As we've got Demon R on the back of the Toblerone.
Yeah, he's on the outside though. SRI will not mind him being on the outside. He's kind of backing out of it. He's still on the outside. Twilight's safe a little bit further ahead. There's still side, but yeah, he's backed out of it now. Yeah, he did not want to be up the outside of SRI there. So as they make their way towards the Mothers, Dave York coming around the corner sideways in the background. Demon R trying to sneak up the inside. So Demon R and SRI tag team in the Mothers. I don't know whose, but yeah, they're getting done. But SRI holds on to the position.
Yeah, done well keeping it on the outside, and Demon R done well just not drifting wide and pushing him off.
Absolutely. Artpal putting a bit of pressure on Dave, but not really attacking him, and that's... Oh, who's that that's wide? Oh, it's Demon R and Mitch. Was Dave able to get ahead of Mitch there? No, Mitch was able to recover just in time. A bit frantic this really, isn't it?
Yep. Like they've got 25 minutes of this, so
yeah.
They'll be on their tippy toes.
That they will. Yeah, I was going to mention about Artpal not attacking too much in the sort of no-no zone, which I think is the wise thing to do if you've not had a lot of practice here, because it's so easy to end up running out wide. Mitch is really pushing the limits of the width of the track there as SGP now side by side with Artpal. SGP, I think, Demon R sideways, Mitch sideways. That's what I'd like to see anyway. It goes to show that these guys are absolutely on the limit of adhesion through some of these corners. I was going to say the SGP probably won't mind being around the outside of Artpal, although Artpal gives him a little tag onto the grass. Yeah, he's had plenty of experience of being out there though, so I'm sure he'll recover fine. And I think Artpal may actually be waiting for him as well. So as Dave is now trying to get side by side with Mitch as they head into or closer to the Fuzz as we cut away to see Artpal. Right, okay, yeah, Artpal is letting SGP through just before the Fuzz. Hey, in the background! Ooh, he's so good.
Yeah, he was going to have the hat pants on.
Oh,
he's gone wide. He's touched it up.
I think he's well out wide. He's well out wide. He's rubbing that barrier. That's going to be costly for him. He was 5th. Where's he going to come back? Oh, it's going to be at least 9th. So yeah, 4 places lost for SRI. He's going to have to be careful of dirty tyres now as well, as he heads through the kink, the right kink and the left kink. Having a cheeky little look at the back of Rich Blues. I must admit,
he got out of shape there, but it was nice. He kept it.
Oh, that's even more out of shape. No, if he can keep. I was about to say if he could keep it facing the right direction, it'd be alright. Unfortunately, he couldn't manage to tag Hay there, but Hay survived. It is fireproof, so yeah. There was something I was going to say. Oh yeah, Rich has lived. Oh, SGP, where are you going? That's just gifted Artpal a position, has it? No, Artpal being cautious. Demon Art through the chicane, Dave through the chicane, Mitch through the chicane sideways. SRI with a decent exit. Are we surprised, Ray, that Dave Harp's not having the success that he had at the DGTC side?
A wee bit, but his car is more slidey on the rear end, if you want to, a lot more oversteery, so he must be fighting one hell of a battle.
Yeah, definitely. I would fully agree with you. That is pretty much the sole reason to it, I reckon, as Dave and Mitch come sideways through the corners. I mean, the Corvette won't mind going a little bit sideways in the higher speed corners, but it's in the slightly slower speed corners that we're coming up to now, Mothers and the chicane. If he gets too eager on the throttle or dips a wheel like Mitch is. So Mitch has got sideways but managed to save it. But I think if we see Dave doing that in the Corvette, I think we'll see him spinning around, unfortunately. Dave Harp now up on the rear of Demon R. Demon R showing Dave to the outside into the no-no zone. Dave trying to look at a switch back. Is he? But that right there, Ray, is what you're on about, wasn't it? That little wobble on the way into the corner was difficult for him. If he has one on the exit, he'll struggle. But that's the thing. I think the Dodge is more likely to sort of wobble in the middle or on the exit. The Corvette's going to wobble on the way in.
Yeah, and that's what I've been finding out in the Dodge Viper there. Just the mid-corner, it starts to get a wee bit loose.
Yeah, what Dave the Harp has got here, though, is a decent top speed. So I'm surprised Demon R's actually showing Dave the inside line there. I wonder if Dave was not expecting it. Perhaps called him out a little bit there. Because no one would choose to take the outside line normally. SRI on the back of Dave Harp here. Is he going to go for a move? No, he's not. They're going to take their time through the Mothers. SRI, though, having a look around the outside. Oh, this could get interesting down to the no-no zone. Oh, got it.
Back to Gary and Houston. Oh, no. Yeah, it's Gary.
It is Gary.
He's near in the flat then.
Well, he's been lapped by Conrad, so Gary's struggling here at Goodwood, unfortunately. Again, Gary was one that wasn't able to get any practice in, really. As Jason's running wide, dips a wheel. Oh, has he saved it? You know what, he's done well to end up not on the grass there, but that's going to cost him. He's lost 2 places already. But I think if he'd have ended up on the grass, Ray, I reckon he'd have lost a few more, you know.
Yeah, he'd have been on that grass and then it would... He'd either be hitting the barrier or spinning it round, or he could have saved it on the grass, but trying to get back to the track, you've got to take it nice and slow.
Ooh, look at this, sideways, a little bit slippery. Oh, there's Dave sideways on the exit of the corner, SRI as well, is he going to be safe? Just about manages to not take anybody with him. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things as well I think some of the drivers are going to have to be aware of in these cars is that they are going to go sideways sometimes, and if you're side by side with someone, there is a chance that you may get hit by someone's rear end. and obviously they don't mean it, it's not intentional, it is an accident, they may not even know it happens at times. So yeah, it's a feat. Oh, Demon Heart's well off! Oh, Fuzz, what's going to happen here? David Hart's managed to get ahead. Oh no, he's into the wall, and now Demon Heart's taking the back of him. Oh, and now Mitch has got a rin. He's got a rin on Dib. He's got a rin on Dib the hip. Oh my God, a ring good signal. Good save. Well done. Yeah, so interesting there though that Dave the Harp overtook Demon Heart there in the fuzz zone.
But he was off track, he had a moment off, he was coming back onto track. So Dave the Harp had the right to overtake.
Yeah, I think if Demon Heart had been able to recover and be back on the track in front of Dave the Harp. Oh no, spinner! And Dave's gone as well, so that's alright. And Mitch nearly went. Mitch nearly went, Hartpal nearly went. But yeah, Dave and Demon are. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. SGP's surviving just here, although he's being just a little bit by Hartpal. Hang on, how has Dave's recovered and still in 6th?
He done a 360 spin and kept going.
Lucky son of a bitch. Yeah, so back to the... Oh, Jimmy! Dips a wheel. It is, yeah, dipped a wheel. Hale get through. Yes, Mitch tags the barrier. Yeah, so what Dave did was absolutely fine, because if Demon Heart had managed to get back on the track in front of him at a decent speed, then yeah, Dave would have had to stay behind. But SGP making the move on Hartpal, nice overtake. Hay trying to make one on SRI as well. Yeah, but Dave was where the Demon Heart was off track, was slow, wasn't ahead, and I do believe I've just been told that Demon Heart was shouting out of his window to Dave that he knew he was there and that he was free to go past. Because in those kind of situations, it would be very easy for people to not be sure. And it could have a bit of a knock-on effect. So if the drivers can shout at each other and let them know, it will be very helpful, I'm sure.
Just keep the windows rolled down and shout as loud as you can.
Exactly. Take off your white socks, wave them out the window. I tell you what, Jason's recovering nicely here. He's caught up to Steve F1. He's round the outside. Oh, what a move into the no-no zone. And he's ahead before the fuzz. That's absolutely brilliant from Jason. Round the outside. Yeah, showing Steve F1 how it's done in a jag. Oh, bit of contact. I didn't see who that was from.
There was SRI and was it Hay or Jimmy? It was one of the two.
Yeah, they're both dark cars, but they're both different cars. Hartpal side by side here with SRI, or at least they were, into turn 1. SRI wants that inside line. Hartpal would be wise to cover him off, and he's trying, but he's just stuck. Oh no, he's not. He's gone to the switch. Oh, it's a dummy switch. Oh no, Hartpal dipped the wheel.
That's the class.
Oh, that's unlucky, that is. I like what SRI did there. He went for the dummy, the Mansell dummy, to get that inside line, and it worked. And yeah, Hartpal was unlucky there, just dipped that wheel and around she went. I think SRI helped him on his way after that, but nothing SRI could really do there. Okay, Demon Heart trying to recover. So he's now closing in on the back of Jimmy, who's closing in on the back of SRI. And I've got to...
And I just heard over the radio for SRI, he was helping a brother out from another mother.
Ah, that's all right then. Hey, I tell you what, Twilight's in 2nd place. He's quite a long way behind Conrad. Conrad is heading through. Oh, Twilight, where are you going? Where are you going? It's called the Twilight line for a reason. He knows what to do when he's there. Is he going to recover in time before Jason gets there? I think he is. Just, oh, you lucky boy, you lucky boy. Oh, Jason! Woo! You know his arse has just gone.
Oh, who's that in the background there?
Jimmy!
Jimmy keeping it sideways on the grass.
He's done well. Oh, he's not saved it there. Oh, unlucky. Around she blows. He was pushing his luck. He got lucky, and then his luck ran out. Oh, actually, I'm wondering, whether Demon Heart felt he may have helped him a bit there, because it looks like Demon Heart's waiting behind him. Okay, yeah. So Conrad starting another lap here absolutely flying once again in a class of 1. That's because the teacher said he's a pain in the arse and we have to keep away from the other children. Twilight in 2nd place, heading in towards the fuzz now. So yeah, Conrad lucky. So Jason, big wobble, but he's safe.
Yeah, he's kept that. Now we've got Jason, Steve F1 catching up behind him.
Mitch is closing in as well. So the more that Twilight, Jason and Steve F1 battle, the closer Mitch is going to get. And Dave the Harp is there. Oh, SRI's gone for the Twilight line. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Seems like he's kept it. He's still in 8th place at the moment.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so Dave the Harp here on the back of Mitch. Let's see how he's going to get on through the Kings. I'll tell you what, with these being road cars, there's definitely a lot of body roll in them. Oh, SGP being sideways. Yeah, the suspension is soft. They do move around a lot, but I absolutely love seeing the different aspects of each of these cars at play against each other. Because to be honest, I think sort of 1.5 events down, the car selections is basically doing exactly what it's meant to do.
Yep, and we see Dave the Harp, Mitch battling, and up ahead, Steve F1 right on the back of Jason. But yeah, this is providing great racing with the different cars we've got.
Definitely. I mean, the fuzz zone as well, looks like that's working quite nicely, because obviously we're not seeing any sort of risky moves into the final chicane, where really a risky move into the final chicane here is only going to end one way, and that's badly, which is why the fuzz zone has been brought into it. And it really does, I think it helps educate the drivers as well. As Dave the Harp making the move on Steve F1 with the power of the Corvette. Oh, Mitch! Oh, Mitch! Yeah, I think there's going to be a few brown seats at the end of this race. Oh, he's wide! He's wide! Can he save it? Or is he going to go round? He's gone! He's gone!
SRI's get past.
Yeah,
Demon's passed. He's gone.
He was unlucky there, was Mitch. You could see it kind of coming from a couple of corners before.
Yeah, he went into a holiday. Where's my postcard, Mitch?
I tell you what, talking about things coming, I found out something absolutely shocking about my granddad a couple of days ago. He's addicted to Viagra, and no one's taking it harder than Grandma.
Alright.
It's another one, you're going to use. You want to laugh. You'll probably tell Kirsty that later. Oh, do you know what you're doing out there? That's the bloody hell.
Oh, that's alright.
Yes.
Dave the Harp, he's slowing down. 2 cars have overtook him.
Well, Demon R was off at turn 1, so I don't know whether something happened between Demon R and Dave. I'm not entirely sure. SRI sliding, that's sideways, that's not sideways, that's spinning around. He's collected Dave the R, but he's spinning around as well. Oh, the Toblerone. Oh, and I think that may have been collected Art Pal as well. Oh, that's massively unfortunate for Dave the Harp there. SRI getting that one so twistedly wrong.
I just wanted to meet him face to face and give him a wee cuss. SGP sideways coming into the fuzz zone there.
Aye, that he is. I'll tell you what, Twilight's done well to recover after his sort of big off. Mitch and Steve F1 side by side here. Mitch making the move, I think. Yeah, he is. Mitch going round the outside. Got a decent exit out of the chicane. That's worked wonders. Jason's just about holding on to 3rd place as we're down to less than 2 minutes to go in this race. So, yeah, it'll be this lap and one more, I think. So we could be in for an interesting finish. We've got Demon R and Hay side by side. Oh, I think Hay's just tagged the side of Demon R. Yeah. He's got to check the flowers.
Yeah. And with this fuzz zone and you're saying about there's no dive bombs or late overtakes at the chicane, because if it ends badly, remember the cars don't ghost anymore, so that's going to create just one big pile up for the cars behind that.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing that it's going to create as well is drivers focusing on their entry into the corner, and they can focus on their exit of the corner. So, okay, the action may not be happening into the chicane, but it's going to happen on the exit of the chicane, as we've been seeing. Whoever gets the best exit and into and then Bees on his side, you're going to see he's going his red fish.
As you see, Steve F1 there a wee bit behind on 6th place.
Oh, that he is. There's a bit of a gap between this battle and Dave the Harp in 7th place. And to be honest, I think it's mainly just down to the look of not spinning or not spinning as often or not getting caught up by SRI spinning. We're on to the last lap. By the way, I think Conrad may have crossed the line. Hey, I'll tell you what, I'm looking at the track map. Someone's had a spin. That's Gary. Gary's had a spin at the final chicane. So Conrad hasn't finished. He's not started the lap. He's on the last lap. He's finishing the race. He's going to win. Oh, Jason's off. Big off. SGP's all over the place.
What happened there?
I've no idea. Gary's a lap down. Twilight's going to take 2nd place. Mitch is going to take 3rd. Steve F1 is going to take 4th. SGP and Jason are slow. I don't really know what's happened there. Dave the Harp somehow 5th. Art Pal 6th. Hay 7th. Demon R 8th. This is very interesting as well. Jimmy 9th. Jason 10th. SGP 11th. SRI 12th. Rich Blues 13th. Gary a lap down in 14th, and Rich Blues manages to finish this one, so he'll get the points. I do like his livery on that car. It does look absolutely fantastic.
It looks like the flowers on the side.
It does actually, yeah. So it'll be 13th place for Rich Blues. Congratulations to him. I suppose we'll have to see if we can get some information about what happened at the end there with Jason and SGP. So we can update on that in a moment. What I do want to quickly mention though is massive congratulations to Conrad on taking the victory there. 2 wins, sprint race, feature race, 36 points in the bag. That'll help him out in the standings, no doubt. And because we do have sprint races and feature races, I can genuinely tell you, sat here now, I ain't got a clue who's leading the championship, because you could have a good race in the sprint race and an okay race in the feature and still bag a ton of points. Or have a not great race in the sprint and a great race in the feature and score a decent bag of points. So I ain't got a clue who's leading. But let's not forget, Ray.
Oh, Bunso didn't finish in the last race.
No, you're right. Bunce DNF'd on that, unfortunately. Yeah, the 1 to 8. Well, the result of that race sets the grid for the next sprint race. But 1 to 8 is going to get reversed, which means Conrad will start in 8th place. Demon R's going to start in 1st place on pole. With Hay in 2nd place. So yeah.
Where the farthest up the track he has been.
You know what? I think it will. I think it may be the highest start he will have had in the DGT League. He'll probably be glad to know that the next track is Laguna Seca. I mean, that's something to remember as well, that with the events here today, none of us have really done a league race around Goodwood. Some people really don't like that track, and it is one of those circuits that can get really frustrating if you dip a wheel and you just keep ending up spinning or anything like that. It can be annoying. But
yeah, and the guys done well, to be honest, with the race. They done well. They just put their head down and get on with it.
Absolutely. And to be honest, I think the fuzz worked really, really well. I think everybody tried to respect it really well. I don't think there's going to be another fuzz zone in this championship. But yeah, when it comes in the other 2 tracks, it'll be very interesting to see how it works there as well. I actually think it'll be easier to work at the other tracks because the corners that come before are much easier to navigate, and the fuzz marker point goes over the track, so it's easy for everybody to see it at that point. Just wondering what else I might want to mention there. I really want to sort of talk about the race, but I'm also like, the England game is still on. Yeah. So I might not talk too long on this one, to be honest. And let's put it this way: some of the racing there was absolutely brilliant. There was some unfortunate crashes, but sometimes that's the way racing goes.
Yeah, who do you think? There's two people kind of stand out on that track, and that was Conrad, and Jason. The way he saved his car twice, was it?
Yeah.
It was just unfortunate at the end.
Yeah, I'd add another one to that. Twilight. Twilight was running up in, 4th or 5th in the sprint race, was unlucky with a spin. But in the feature race, for him to started 12th, finished 2nd, and had a couple of Twilight line-offs. He done brilliantly well, I think, to keep his head and recover in that one. I am getting a bit of information as well regarding Jason and SGP. I believe there was a little bit of contact, unfortunately, between SGP and Jason. Oh, someone just nearly scored a belter. Yes, there was a bit of contact between the two of them, which unfortunately sent Jason off wide, put SGP into a tank slapper and him off into the wall. So SGP was waiting for Jason. But yeah, a massive shame for Jason, because he did do so well in that race. And even though it was a second place finish, he was on for a second place finish, that was after having had like a nearly massive off at turn 1. Yep. Okay, got a couple of announcements to make here. Some breaking news, actually. A man was admitted to hospital today with 25 plastic toy horses inserted in his arse. Doctors have described his condition as stable. And a proud mum has given birth to identical twins, Juan and Amal, although she says she only carries one picture of the babies, because once you've seen Juan, you've seen Amal.
Alright.
Alright. Oh, you're such a miserable cunt. I will get you laughing one day on purpose. Right. I think it's time then to have a look.
I think I'll need a crate of beer first.
Yeah, I need some beer now. Right. Okay, time to have a look then at the confirmed race result. Check if there was any incidents or penalties, should I say. We'll confirm the race result and the provisional grid for event 3, which will be from Laguna Seca. So Ray, thank you very much for joining us on commentary once again.
No worries, it's been a pleasure. Great racing, guys.
Aye, that it is. Right, let's crack on. Okay then, confirmation of the feature race result. Conrad taking the victory by a mile, 20 points for him. Twilight manages to secure second place, 17 points for him. Mitch finished in third on 15 points. Steve F1 finished fourth, so it's 13 points for him. Dave the Heart recovered to fifth, 12 points for him. Art Pal finished in sixth place, scores 11 points, but unfortunately he's going to lose 2 of those due to an incident during the race. Information of that is on the Facebook page. We've got on the steward's report. Essentially, he just tagged the back. Dipped a wheel on the grass. It sent him sideways into Jimmy, put Jimmy in the wall, and Pal didn't wait, so I'm guessing he didn't realise that had happened. But 2-point penalty. Very unlucky there. Hay finished in 7th place on 10 points, and Demon R finished in 8th on 9 points. Now, let's remember that the feature race result I'll get my words out. Places 1 to 8 will be reversed on the grid for the next event's sprint race. So Demon R will be on pole position. Jimmy finished in 9th place on 8 points. Jason finished in 10th place, just ahead of SGP. Unfortunately, SGP collecting Jason towards the end there, costing them both massively on points and position in the next race. Ridge Blues finished in 13th place, so scores for 4 points, and Formula Gary finished in 14th on 3 points. Unfortunately, Bunsell did DNF partway through the race. So let's have a look then at what that has done to the championship standings. Surprisingly, somehow, Mitch has ended up at the top of the table. So he's in first place on 56 points, 2 ahead now of Dave the Harp, who's in second. Steve F1's in third on 50 points, but he's got Twilight right behind him on 49 points in fourth place. 3 behind him, we've got SGP and Conrad tied on 46 points. And then 6 behind them is Jason on 40 points, Demon R on 34 points. We've then got SRI on 33, Jimmy on 31, Formula Gary and Hay, they're tied 11th place on 22 points, and then we've got Rich Blues in 13th on 18 points, Bunsell in 14th on 16 points, and then Art Pal 15 for 15, with Fluffy and Tyler both yet to score, although Tyler is down as a reserve driver again in this championship. Okay, so as was wanted to be done. That's not an easy sentence to say, especially after 4 beers. The format for this championship is definitely mixing things up. Although how Mitch is up there in first position at the moment, I'm not entirely sure. He hasn't won a race yet, but he's just bagging decent points through the sprint and the feature races. And Twilight, although unfortunately he had an unlucky sprint race here today, getting that second place in the feature races really helped with his points. So I would not be surprised if we see a lot of changing over the course of the rest of the races in this championship. Okay, let's take a quick look at the provisional grid for Event 3. So Demon R will take the reverse grid pole, so he'll start on that front row with Hay alongside him. Row 2, it will be Art Pal alongside Dave the Harp. Row 3, it's Steve F1 alongside Mitch, and then row 4, it's Twilight lining up alongside Conrad. Row 5 will be Jimmy and Jason, and row 6 will be SGP alongside SRI. Rich Blues, he'll line up alongside Formula Gary, and Bunsell will line up alongside Fluffy Planet. Interestingly, looking at the cars up at the front of the grid, Hay in an Aston Martin, Art Pal in an Aston Martin, they could be on for having a very good start over the Maserati of Demon R. But the one to watch out for here will be Dave the Harp in that Corvette. Starting in 4th, he could, if he gets a decent start, may be able to create a little bit of a gap up at the front. But having said that, it's racing and there is absolutely no guarantees. He may not even make the next race. If he doesn't and something happens to him, it's not a prediction, it's just unfortunate. Okay. Right, the next race is from Laguna Seca. We all know that circuit. The corkscrew will be crucial, but also what is very interesting about that and these cars is not a single one of them likes being having their brakes used on their way to the corkscrew. Everywhere else is not too bad, but yeah, the corkscrew, the camber of the road, the speed of the cars, and the fact that they're road cars, they do struggle a little bit around the corkscrew. So it'll be very interesting to see how people get on there in the sprint race, which again will form the grid for the feature race. Okay folks, thank you very much for joining us. Make sure you hit like, subscribe if you've liked it and you want to follow more of us. And then definitely do that and hit that notifications bell. Also, merch, DGT merch is available in the Dynamic GT League merchandise store on Streamlabs, even, where we will take minimal profit. We literally are not making $1 on any item, so it's there for cheap quality goods for everybody, not for profit for us. Right, have a good one everybody, thanks for watching, and we'll see you all again soon.